I want to talk about something that doesn't get enough attention until it's too late. One thing that has always been a fact is we all are born with an expiration date, but we just don't know when that date will come. That's why I always encourage my clients to start having real conversations in their households or within their families about securing their assets before life forces them to. So if you are a child caring for aging parents or grandparents, if you are a spouse who's the primary income earner for your home, if you are a stay-at-home spouse, make sure everything is properly documented, secured together, so all assets are protected. And I've experienced this firsthand, both as being a surviving loved one and as a financial wellness coach, of how having this conversation has saved my family thousands of dollars, and how it has saved my clients' family thousands of dollars, saved them years of legal stress, because unfortunately, that's what we tend to go through generationally, especially when a loved one passes away. We're left fighting to prove and to protect assets that wasn't properly secured through legal documentation of estate planning, because oftentimes we don't know what we don't know until we're faced with the harsh reality of fighting to not lose what's ours. Most parents say, I'm going to leave the house to my kids. And while the intentions are beautiful, intentions aren't legally binding, which means if their name isn't on the deed, if there is no trust in place, and if there is no legal documentation to back that statement up, then what you're really leaving behind is a financial nightmare. And families end up grieving while going in and out of probate court, paying court fees and filing fees and searching for every ounce of proof they can find as supportive documentation, all while grieving and hoping that it all rules in their favor. So what should have been a generational wealth transfer now becomes a generational transfer of financial trauma. All because a conversation wasn't initiated or followed up on, or nothing was discussed, signed, or protected legally. Now, wills are important, but they're also not airtight, because given the type of asset that's being left to someone, especially if they're a minor and if it deals with a property, wills can sometimes be contested, they can be delayed, and they can also still require the family to go through probate court. And here's what most people don't realize. Probate court process can typically take up to 2 years minimum to be completed. And depending on your state of situation, it can cost your loved ones thousands of dollars just to access what was supposed to be left to them all along. So the most secure way to protect and secure the transfer of wealth is through having a trust. And trusts are one of the most underused, most powerful tools for generational wealth protection that every family needs. And one thing that's most commonly missed is once you form the trust, make sure you fund it, meaning assign assets like the home to the trust. Because if you don't fund it or assign assets to the trust, then the assets isn't secure or legally protected. And far too often, once grandma, granddaddy, mama, or daddy pass away, their home and their land does as well. Because it wasn't placed in a protective state for when they pass away, the transfer of wealth, their home, their land, and other assets is processed with ease and without any interference with probate court. It's the quickest, most smoothest way to ensure your family is covered and protected throughout the grief process. It takes the guessing out. It takes the pressure and stress that many of us face as we're trying to make the right decision while we're already consumed with grief. So here are standard essential documents every family should have in hand, always knowing where it is. A marriage license, your birth certificate, property deeds and vehicle titles. Make sure the names are accurate, and if you intend to leave the property to someone, it must be reflected legally. For example, if you're a child caring for parents or grandparents and their home is paid off, but you're not listed on the deed or the home wasn't placed in a trust, you could be headed to probate court upon their passing. Bank and investment accounts. Make sure you assign a beneficiary. Most people actually assume that because you're on the account means you're a beneficiary, and that's not always true. You're more than likely listed as an authorized user, which is not the same as a beneficiary. An authorized user has access to the account, but when the owner of the account passes away, the account does not get 100% transferred to the authorized user. It's transferred to the beneficiary, known as payable on death beneficiary. And if there isn't a beneficiary on file, you will have to go through probate court. So every client that have their financial sessions with me, I have an action item for them to confirm that all accounts and policies have a beneficiary listed, because unfortunately, many families don't realize this until it's too late. Life insurance policies. Have copies of all policies on file. This is important because if the insurance company changes their name or is bought out, your original copy of your policy will help them quickly locate the policy without transferring you to one department after another department for further assistance. And if you are a business owner, make sure you have your LLC paperwork, your EIN numbers, and operating agreements on hand. It's also equally important to make sure that you have someone listed who can take over the business or can get access to anything if something were to happen to you. Have all of the documents in a waterproof, fireproof case. You can order those from Amazon. That way, everything is in one place, safe and sound. So all your surviving loved one has to do is go there and follow the instructions that you laid out. Because by having all documents in one place, you You just made their grieving process just a little more easier. They don't have to tear up the house and going through drawers, looking under the mattress and trying to guess where everything is. Don't leave them guessing and going in and out of court. Leave them with instructions and the necessary legal documents to ensure that they can grieve in peace while you rest in peace. Now, if you're listening and you're like, I don't have a responsible person in my family that I trust, especially to tell what my documents are or leave my assets to, you can still leave your instructions in the trust. Sit down with an estate planning attorney so you can create a generational wealth transfer that works for you and for your family dynamic, because every family relationship dynamic is different. But no matter what your family dynamic is, there's options available for you to plan and to protect. And lastly, at least once a year, review all of your accounts to update your beneficiaries as needed, because the beneficiary that you may have assigned 4 years ago or 10 years ago may not be the beneficiary that should be listed today. Remember, it's not about being fair. It's about listing the most responsible person, someone you trust, to walk out this process with integrity and not greed. This decision can make all the difference in preserving peace, honoring wishes, and protecting your legacy. So let's make sure our family, and yes, I'm talking to my people, let's make sure our family inherit generational wealth, not just money, but instructions, not just assets, but access, not just memories, but a roadmap. Let's make sure we start having the hard conversations, getting the documents together, teaching the next generation how to manage what we've built, not just mourn what we've lost. Because generational wealth doesn't grow without guidance, and legacy doesn't sustain itself without structure. Because far too often, we inherit generational debt, generational chaos, and generational trauma, especially after the matriarch or the patriarch of our family transitions to eternal life. Hey family, I hope you enjoyed today's Wealth and Wisdom conversation. It is so important to make sure that we are securing our assets and keeping it in the family so that it doesn't go to probate court and we're fighting to keep what always belonged to us. Make sure you share this video with at least 10 people that you know. I'll be dropping more videos like this every Wednesday. Always remember, your mindset is the key to unlocking your financial freedom. It's time to leave behind what's comfortable for what's possible. All we have is now, family. So start now. See y'all next week.